welcome back to my channel. It is Sam. How you doing? So since we love updates so much, I'm gonna get behind the camera. Sorry, buddy. I'm gonna get behind the camera because I've been mainly focusing on the other side of my plant room. That's where I've been filming. Those are the plants I've been showing you. I have this entire other corner, like 2 walls of plants that I haven't really shown you guys much in a while. So I've gotten my laundry done because this is typically where my laundry is sitting, in this little corner. That's why I don't really show it that often, because it's been a mess. I just thought this would be a good time to get behind the camera and just kind of do a little walkthrough of the plants over here. Let's just see kind of like where this video takes us. Excuse me, I have my lights and such set up at the moment, but we're gonna go through these shelves and then have some plants over here as well. We're gonna start from the bottom and work our way up, I think. Once we get up to these top shelves, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this Mars Hydro light off, because as you can see the lines, like it's just not gonna be good lighting with this guy on. Actually, let's start on this shelf because there's not a ton going on here. So let me just like get through this first. Up here, I don't want to talk about it. It's a decursiva, Rhaphidophora decursiva. Very, very thirsty, crazy. Like, I'm trying to actually get rid of this plant because it just is so viney and like a mess. It has good bug dust on it currently. I really want to replace the plant that's in this basket with something better, so I'm gonna do that because I love this little plant hanger, but that plant is just not the vibe right now. I did wash the dust because it's like pointless at this point off of most of the plants. I didn't get this one, so he's still a dusty boy. This is my Anthurium magnificum crossed with Ace of Spades, a little hybrid. Spider mites have definitely taken a toll on many of these plants. I don't feel like I need to say it for every single plant. You get it, okay? You get the gist. I will say, despite how kind of jacked up some of his leaves look, like this one right here, he's doing really well, okay? He's sizing up beautifully. It's the newest leaf. This is the newest leaf. It appears to be the newest leaf. I don't know why it looks like that. This was the biggest leaf he had given me. Like, I got this and the leaves were really, I mean, I guess not tiny, but you know, that's a pretty big difference. They were much smaller, and I got these leaves in my care too, I believe. He gave me this leaf, and then this one, if anthuriums, specifically velvety ones, have any type of pest or watering issues, like you underwater them, this will happen to the leaves. Better luck next time. The veins on this guy are so intense and like electric, if you will. Love him. This is one of my OGs here. I had this in my Kia grow cabinet basically the entire year we've lived here. It just was not doing well. I mean, it just wasn't. It was constantly ate up with mites. Didn't like the cabinet at all. So I've recently moved it out here to see if that helps. And it's just kind of been flowering pretty much nonstop. He was putting off flowers and I was chopping them off, and he just keeps doing that instead of giving me a leaf, which somebody mentioned in one of my previous videos, that can happen, and just let them flower. So that's what we are attempting to do here. This was the last newest leaf. He had more leaves, but I obviously had to remove them because of damaged spider mites, and I really want him to focus on his good leaves. Okay, this is typically a really fast growing anthurium, but he's had some issues. I've had this guy for several years. This is the worst he's ever done, the worst he's ever looked. And I'm very upset about it. So my goal right now is just to get him back on track and healthy and happy. Typically this guy puts out a new leaf like every 3 to 4 weeks. And he's slowed down, but we're going to let him rest, give him that time that he's needing, and move right along. So here's my Flora Beauty mother plant that I just chopped up in a recent video. The cuttings, which is majority of the plant, are over there in a vase of water. But yeah, this is mama. You know what? It's already got another growth point right here though, right where I chopped it at. So, okay, we'll take it. This is another crusty, dusty babe. Ooh, but looky there. Looky there. Okay, this is my Philodendron SP Columbia. that I have struggled with, no lie. But look, as you can see, she is in moss. We have a new leaf, and it's been struggling for a while, so it appears to be on the up and up now. That is a really good looking leaf. I've been on top of it with my treatment since the good bugs didn't work this go for some reason. And she's rewarding me. So that leaf looks pretty perfect. I'm very happy with that, which it's really exciting to me because I am really eager to achieve greatness with this plant. I'm really eager to get it to grow really big and beautiful. I know the potential of this plant and I need it. I want it. So we'll keep updated, okay? Over here in this corner is just like a little Costa Farms. I believe it's called the Golden Crocodile Philodendron, which is basically a ring of fire without the variegation. It has this nice neon yellow green coloration to it. That new leaf isn't looking too good, but it desperately needs to come out of this Walmart Costa Farms soil. I think it's like peat moss actually. So that's something I need to do. That was kind of an impulse buy, not gonna lie. Here we have one of my little loves. This is my, oh gosh, come out, come out. This is my Discidia ovata. I always want to call her ovovata, like the Hoya, but it's ovata, I believe. Lovely plant, beautiful, typically grows really fast and flowers pretty regularly. She has also slowed down at the moment. She's still growing. You can see those new kind of reddish leaves. But yeah, she slowed down at the moment. She just finished a bloom cycle not too long ago, a few weeks ago maybe. I love this planter with all my heart. It looks like a new vine coming off there and maybe there. So that's exciting. I do want to chop this plant eventually to get it to fill out a bit more at the top and shoot off more vines because you can see she's real long. The base of the pot is not super full. So that is a goal. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I really did not clean up much or like remove dead or damaged leaves or anything before filming. So this is just kind of like PSA, real life, planty stuff. So might be plucking off dead crispy bits and stuff as we go along. Hope that's okay. I mean, look, this is my Cebu Blue. This is an OG. This is one of my plants from the beginning. I bought in a hanging basket, and I have chopped and propagated. Look at her, she goes all the way down. This Cebu Blue, so many times over the years. I used to propagate these. They root so fast. Root them up and make like little 3-4 inch plants of them and sell them. I've gifted cuttings, rooted cuttings, full plants that I've made out of it, you name it. So it's been in this planter since I repotted it at least 3 years ago, I would say. Definitely probably needs a repot, at least some fresh soil, but daggone, is that a big planter or what? Like, I don't know how much bigger I can go with it. So I'm gonna have to do something though, chop it back a bit, propagate it. But even though she's super long and crazy, I know you can't see all of her vines right now because everything's just kind of like crammed in here. Still really lush and full on top. Yeah, I love this plant. I love Cebu Blue. I will always be a huge fan of this guy. And yeah, so there's my Cebu Blue that's been with me for a very long time. 10 out of 10 recommend. Great beginner plant. Just an awesome plant all the way around. Doesn't like to be underwatered for long periods of time, or you'll get this right here. But otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this gal out because it's just so hard to see anything in that corner. This is Begonia Benico that we got a few months ago, and I've kind of periodically been doing little updates here and there. Look at this plant, it is growing so much. I love it. What a plant. Now, she is supposed to look more, she's supposed to look like this. And that's really what she looked like, this pink leaf, when I unboxed her. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a lighting thing. Like maybe she's getting too much light because these plants get a lot of light over here. Okay, a lot. So I don't know if it's too much light feeding her leaves. Some plants, more light equals more sun stressing, and then with others, more light will fade. It'll have the opposite effect. But here's an update on her. I mean, there is just new growth busting out all over this plant. It is beautiful. I'm gonna have to experiment around a little bit to see if we can get this coloration right here back on the foliage. But it's beautiful either way, right? But I would like to have that pink back because that's why I bought her. But just a really beautiful, easy, fast-growing cane begonia. We love her. Doesn't cause any issues. That means a lot. Okay, I don't know about this lighting, y'all. We're just gonna go ahead and come over here. I'm so sad about this. I think I know the issue though, and I am getting ready to move her out of here. So this is my Calathea fasciata or Calathea rotundifolia. I've had this one for several years also. This is like one of the only Calatheas aside from like my stromanths that can hang with me because it's just such an amazing Calathea and it's always growing even now. Even now, here is a new leaf. This was a new leaf, but you can see the damage. Here's a new leaf. That is potentially a new leaf coming in there. So it was doing well. It had tons of leaves, and I've recently had to remove them because I decided to move her on this shelf under this grow light, and she does not like it. She was getting really indirect, not bright at all lighting all this time. I shouldn't have touched her because she was doing so well. But I moved her because I wanted to see her better because where she was living, I just really couldn't see her unless I pulled her out. Just kind of the same thing now. And the plant has completely freaked out, crisped up all of these leaves, still trying to grow, like I said, but it's a problem, and I think it's because it's too much light. Calatheas do not need or appreciate direct light, so I gotta get her out of here. It's not working. Moving up a shelf on this teeny tiny little plant stand, we have this beautiful philodendron tortum. He is fairly new. I brought him home not too long ago. We're giving it another go, okay? Because I have killed 2 of these. I kept the baby one alive for 2 years, I believe. And it was like a teeny tiny little starter. And it had grown so much and was doing so well, I was keeping it in a Ziploc bag. Needless to say, after we moved here, the Ziploc bag got lost for months. By the time I found it, it was over. And then I had ordered another one for a pretty good price, and it just died immediately after shipping, which never really happens to me. Plants usually don't just freak out and die immediately after shipping, but sometimes they do. So I adore this plant. I love it. I've wanted a good size one, like a decent size one, for so long. So I'm thrilled to have another opportunity to grow this plant, have it in my collection, and I'm very thankful that it is a decent size. It's not a little baby. It has some maturity to it, some established roots, and so I love it very much, and I'm very hopeful. This was his newest leaf here. We do have another new leaf right here, a growth point anyway, and I just kind of stuck him down in this adorable white planter here. I think it looks quite nice, and he has this cute little mushy mushroom stuck down in there. I love the pot and the mushroom with this plant. It's funky. It's a vibe. Here's my Peperomia Hope right here, and a little llama guy. Not too much to see there. This is Ripsalis I want to say bacteria, but that is not what it's called. Look over the fertilizer stains on the wall. But it's a Ripsalis, and it has grown a lot. Okay, it's doing crazy. I also have a larger one in a hanging basket in my bedroom. Back here, it is just standard Phalaenopsis orchid doing its thing. Need to remove that dead bloom spike. And that's it for that shelf. So up on the top shelf, we can only fit 2 big guys. We have my beautiful Philodendron Summer's Glory. I love this philodendron. Oh, it's so good. I did just give this one a water and sprayed it down. He's growing kind of crazy, so he's like kind of leaning over out of the pot. I had tried to stake him up, but honestly, it's just growing that way. It's very difficult to try and force it back the other way. This plant has at least 2 different plants in one pot. So this is a new leaf off of one of those. I actually potted them together myself. So this philodendron, it's got spider mite damage, but the leaves come in orange like the McCulley's finale. It's a hybrid between that philodendron and Philodendron gloriosum. It's very easy, very fast grower. The leaves have potential of getting massive. Ignore the mite damage, but this isn't a great example of what the new leaves look like. This, however, is a pretty good example. You see that coloration there? It is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I can't grow gloriosum to save my life. They just don't like me, but I can grow hybrids like you wouldn't believe. And this is a fantastic hybrid. So yeah, two different growth points. It's kind of hard to see because he's just so big and all over the place, but I love that plant. Hiding behind this guy, we have my Epiprimnum albo, getting pretty crazy, lots of growth points. We do have some leaves. I'm not sure which ones because I can't really see right now, but we do have some leaves starting to get little tiny fenestrations in them. I need to go ahead and reattach some of these vines that, because it's grown a lot since I've last attached them. But yeah, he's got lots of growth points, lots of vines. He's very full and beautiful. Here's some of those little tiny baby fenestrations. Oh, here's a good one. Look at that one. Thinking about propagating a few cuttings off of this, specifically of the fenestrated leaves, and see if I can't get a more mature plant out of it if I start, start it over. Not start it over, but start the cuttings out from fenestrated leaves. This plant has some of the most gorgeous variegation. I mean, it's so good, and some of the leaves are like solid white, like an aloe monstera, really. And then others have more of that yellow marbling. I think the newer leaves tend to be, the variegation tends to be yellow, and then as they harden off and age, it turns more white, which is just so pretty. And that's it for this little stand here. It doesn't hold a lot, doesn't do a lot. I honestly really want to do like a makeover and kind of like get some new shelving and stuff because I'm just over what I have. Like I'm over this wooden thing. Like it doesn't hold a lot. I don't love it. I'm over these little tiny ones. I have another one over there in that corner and I'm just like, meh. Okay, now we move to this plant stand here. Again, super chaotic. This is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma right here. Wild as ever. I just have it on this like bamboo hoop trellis. Don't love it, but I mean, I love the plant, but it's just like not looking that good right now. The trellis isn't it. Need to do something with that guy severely. And then we have a donkey's tail sedum that I've touched too much. See if I can be gentle. And knocked off a bunch of leaves. Specifically, whenever I go to water, back in here, I'll accidentally like hit with the watering can and knock off the little baby leaves, which is unfortunate. I would like to get this guy like in a hanging basket. It definitely needs up potted as well, and get it hanging somewhere in a window where I'm not going to be bumping it and knocking it constantly. But he's cute for what he is. He's cute. There's a little bit of shriveled stuff going on there because he does need up potted, but he cute. It's fine. Okay, this is where it gets a little crazy. This I don't want to talk about. I'm very stressed. Who is this even? I can't even think. I'll put it on the screen, but it's not good. Okay. We're trying again. The growth point there. This is from spider mites though. And I don't know what else. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. This is my Joepii, you guys, which again comes down to me. I'm getting ready to do like a big chore day, possibly this weekend. I'm thinking Sunday. Because I have to like get this guy out of moss. He's in moss, and he was shipped to me in moss. It grew so well. It was huge. It was growing so fast. The leaves were getting massive, and then it just stopped because it's in moss and it needs to come out and it needs to go in soil. I water it, and hours later it's completely dry. And so this was his newest leaf. It's so sad, and it was a good while ago. So it's telling me, like, please help me, save me, I need you. not doing well. Yeah, so we're gonna fix it, and I'm sure he'll be back to his happy, fast-growing self again in no time, because this is just such a great plant. He does have a couple more leaves back here that are difficult to see at the moment, but I'm gonna get to that hopefully this weekend. Let me just pull this out simply because, look, I was passed down some really amazing pottery from 1992 all the way up to 2001. It's been in my family for all these years. So my mom brought them over to me, and there's lots of good stuff in there. So I am repurposing some of it for my plants, and I think this is so cute. And now finally my Anthurium pallidiflorum. I know it's hard to see, but I can tell you guys, I had some real funky bacterial stuff going on. I just actually removed the foliage and treated these couple of plants like 2 days ago, I believe. So it was on this plant, which was setting directly under my pallidiflorum. It's on another plant I'll show you in a moment. And it was on 2 of my pallidiflorum leaves. And you can see this one, I don't know, now it's looking a little sus. It was yellow, but it didn't have any of the spots on it. So I'm going to remove this leaf too. This was his last newest leaf right here, just a couple weeks back. Well, it's been probably a month ago now at this point. This is my pride and joy right here. So as soon as I seen that funky bacterial stuff, I'm like, nope, we got to treat this immediately. So I treated it with copper fungicide. I removed the leaves, and it seems to be good now. It seems to be fine. Hopefully he can push out this new leaf that he's working on with ease right here. And he's also slowed down. It's normally a really fast grower too. Slowed down just a bit because he's pushing out inflows, one right after another. He had 2, the other one's already died. Before that, he had 2 that I chopped off and removed, and he just pushed out more. So I'm letting him do his thing. I looked more into it. I believe now that I kind of know more what to do and how to do it, I constantly have flowering anthuriums that I'm definitely going to try in the future to hybridize a couple of my anthuriums and get babies. So I'll keep you posted. Up here, this guy, he usually lives in the bathroom, but I brought him out to do some maintenance on him and treat him. And I need to cut him because he's getting leggy. Can you see that? I need to chop and prop, and then I'll have to put him on a moss pole. I just don't want to. This is my philodendron Dark Lord that I imported several years back. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Very fast grower as well, but needs some assistance, okay? That's it for that shelf. Now we move down. It's so hard because the guys on the top shelf are like covering it. So I'm gonna move these guys up here so we can actually see the plants on this shelf in this one. Okay, that should be a little better. So here's my philodendron El Chaco Red. I love him so much. If you guys have been here a while, you remember that I literally cried when I initially got this plant years back. It was just surreal. And yeah, I struggled with this plant, honestly, the first couple of years trying to grow it. And I rotted the roots more times than I care to admit. He is a spider mite magnet, but that's okay. This is his new leaf. Isn't it so pretty? The veins and then the red abaxials. Oh my goodness, just to die for, honestly. So we're finally getting somewhere. He's been doing well for a while now, but he is kind of a slow grower. I wouldn't say slow, but he's not as prolific as some of my other philodendrons, we'll put it that way. There's another one down in that sheath. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully it sizes up. I do have to get him on a pole. You can see there's no pole in there. I got to get him on a pole. I think he'll definitely appreciate that. It's just a matter of doing it, getting more poles made because I'm running out. Forever a favorite. Behind him, we just have my cute little variegated phalaenopsis. Love her as well with her new leaf she's working on there. Beautiful. Okay, next to my El Chaco, we have another pendant anthurium called Anthurium pendens, which makes sense. We can definitely see some spider mite damage on some of those leaves, but I mean, he's fine. He's doing fine. And I have treated all of these plants multiple times over the last couple of weeks especially. So I really don't even know, was this the newest leaf potentially? Looks like it. It's not quite as thick. I mean, the older leaves literally almost feel like cardboard. Not quite, but kind of. They're very thick and the texture is not really what you would expect. You hear that? And the new leaves tend to take a while to form that texture about them. So this is the newest leaf. He's taken a lot longer than my Pallidiflorum to size up. I mean, he was just tiny with little leaves like this and smaller when I got him, and for the longest time, but it took a while for this one to take off and get going, but now he's doing really well. I'm really proud of him. So yeah, and there's another little tiny growth point right there. So I don't think y'all are super interested in this. These guys have good bug dust all over them. That one is very thirsty. That's just a regular Hoya carnosa princess, crimson princess. Yeah, there's a princess there, and then directly beside her there's a queen, a crimson queen, again with the dust. I need to pull these Hoya out and honestly give them a bath. I do. So that's something that'll be on my chore list for Sunday. I know it's kind of hard to see, but they're in there, they're doing their thing, they're fine. Beside those guys, we have Hoya Chelsea growing quite well, if I do say so myself. The dust isn't that cute, but it's okay. Look at that. I love the Chelsea's new leaves. These round, chubby little succulent leaves with the little dimples in them. I just think it's so cute. Like, look at you, you're adorable. Yeah, so she has quite a lot of growth points on her all over the pot, really. Constantly growing really well. Honestly, if any of these 3 Hoya ever bloomed, I probably would not have any idea, just because they're so crammed in there. I gotta work on it. I gotta work on my setup and my displaying and all of that stuff. It's coming. She's huge, she's big, it's easy, and I would like to put her in this, but her pot is too big to fit in here. I'm almost certain. Okay, we about forgot about this guy. Let's just pull him out. Here's a little update on this plant. This is Monstera subpinnata. I almost lost it, y'all. I almost lost it. I had to take like an emergency, last minute emergency cutting months ago, and I put it in water. It was the stem right here. I put it in water and it rooted up. I mean, it rooted pretty well. It lost its original leaf, I think. I want to say it lost the original leaf it had, and this was a new one right here, but it looks kind of rough, so I'm actually not sure. I can't remember, but I do know I didn't see any growth action on it when it was just a cutting in water forever. It took a long time, and then this leaf right here has recently opened up, and I believe right before it opened up, I went ahead and put it in soil. This is another piece of that pottery that I inherited. This one's from 1991, actually. Isn't it cute? I love it. I love it. I love glassware, and I love putting plants in glassware. So yeah, I potted it up into soil, and it went ahead and unfurled that leaf for me, and it is perfect. The new leaf is perfect. It's tiny, but it's like flawless. I love it. I'm very thankful that I was able to save this guy, because I really thought for a minute that I had lost it. So that is a very positive update in my book. All right, now we move down. Ta-da! I went ahead and turned the grow light back on since we're down low. So the final shelf. This is my Scindapsus tribii variegated. So it's the Moonlight Scindapsus variegated. I haven't had this plant for a super long time. It is very thirsty. It's constantly drying out. That's why the leaves look like that. But I've actually been staying on top of the water lately, believe it or not. And even still, like, it's just difficult. I have to find a new plank or piece of wood for this plant, because I mean, look. So I've already like taken it back down, and we have, yeah, the vines like split themselves. So it's putting on a leaf here, because these will get runners really bad if it doesn't have something to climb. So yeah, I was thinking there was potentially another growth point on her. And listen, I know some people think it's cringy or make fun of plant people that refer to their plants as him and her. I don't do it with all of them, and I interchange it, but it's just a habit. I've always done it. Some of them, I like to say she or her or him. I don't even realize I'm doing it, so I apologize if that cringes you out. But they're, you know, It's okay. There's this guy, Peperomia incana. I was going on and on about this plant recently in a recent video, and so I won't spend too much time, but I adore this plant. I mean, it's so good. Look at the leaves. Those fuzzy, furry leaves, and they're fuzzy on the front and the back, and they're thick and they're round, and it's just like, they're so cute. They are so cute, and mine is getting so large, and it sprouted off extras. It was just so little whenever I got it, I think going on 5 years ago maybe, and it's really filled out so beautifully, and I'm very, very thankful for that. This is a peperomia that I would, if I ever find another one, a peperomia incana, like in a nursery or a big box store, I 1000% will be picking it up and bringing it home because I love this plant that much. It's great. This is begonia torch or begonia fire torch. I can't remember if it's torch or fire torch. Another cane angel wing type begonia. Let's see, got a couple crispy leaves on there. Oops, there's her other vine. And then we have this one. So yeah, she's getting a little leggy. Probably will chop it a little bit sooner rather than later, but for now she's fine. This is my second and newest philodendron painted lady. I mean, I've had it for a good while now, but I actually think I found this at Walmart, y'all. I've been seeing them at Walmart every time I go now, like really full big pots of them for $20. Amazing. My OG painted ladies on the other side of the plant room. This one has a couple different growth points going on here. It is beautiful. There's a new leaf. There's a new leaf unfurling right there. There's another growth point over here. How many growth points are in this freaking pot? Okay, there's at least 3 growth points in this one pot. Fantastic, love it. And look at this pot. It's Pioneer Woman. Yeah, Pioneer Woman planter, and it's so pretty, and it was really cheap too at Walmart. I think I bought this pot when I got the plant specifically for her, so great choice, I believe that was. Better view of her. Painted lady. I love this plant. I say that about all of my plants, but I do. And this is my OG Stromanth Trio Star. I have my super large one on the other side of the plant room. Massive Trio Star. This one wasn't getting a super high amount of light for the last couple of years, so it's kind of reverted to the all green, the non-variegated Trio Star. I can't remember what it's called right now. Magic Star or something maybe. No, that's a different variegated one. But I really like the look of the non-variegated, so my large one is highly variegated, so I'm totally fine with this one being not having a ton of variegation on it. I did notice that this little pup down here does still have a good amount of variegation, so that's good. Yeah, I think she's beautiful. Doesn't like to dry out, but very, very forgiving. If you're looking for a prayer plant that won't break your heart, this is the one. They're amazing. This needs to go in a video of plants that are very hard or very hard for me. Very difficult. And that is philodendron luxurians. I don't know what the hell its problem is, but here we are starting over again. We have a growth point, looks pretty juicy. If that growth point dies, I swear to you, because it'll put out a leaf and it'll get up to like 2 leaves and look really beautiful, and then boom, it freaks out and loses the leaves that it does have, and that is an issue. Okay, moving on. This is my philodendron white wizard. This is my white wizard with dust all over it, but this one has taken me by such a surprise. The white knights, pink princesses, most of the royal philodendron, like that whole family, don't really grow that well for me, and they just really tick me off, and I just don't love them. But I tried the white wizard instead of the white knight. Like the white knight, honestly, I'm sorry, but it's true. The white wizard has really just blown me away. I want leaves like this though, this size. But look at the variegation on this plant, and it has grown so much for me. So much. Now I gotta do something like put it on a pole or something. A little bit of, what is it, edema? Anyway, it's not a big deal. That's like an all white leaf. So it has lost some of the size to the foliage, of course. It's still beautiful though. So it needs something to climb, but even still, like that new leaf there, just the amount of variegation that it has in the foliage is just, oh my gosh, look at that. There's another little plantlet down there growing really well. So cute. Also, I don't know, the leaves are so chubby looking. Yes, it's good. It's good. It's good. Very, very good. This one's taken me by surprise and I really enjoy it. I'm really enjoying growing it. Each new leaf is such a surprise. And yeah, so that's my little white wizard. It's my first time growing a white wizard. I've had the knights and yeah, I prefer this one to all of the other in the royal family, aside from my dark lord. But this one doesn't grow the same. I don't consider this the same as like the white knight, the white wizard, the white princess. I don't know, there's so many of them. The pink princess, there's so many of them. And I don't care for any of those ones specifically, but this one I love. Thank you for being wonderful. I think we just finished off this section. So I am gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go lay down. Bye.